Hello, this is Pam Marcenaro, and I'll be presenting today the topic of my final paper, Community College Access, Understanding the Diverse Student Culture that Populates Their Campuses. Next is a breakdown of the areas I will be covering today. I'll begin by a brief discussion of the American Community College history. We'll move into open access, the makeup of students that populate community colleges, followed by an understanding of the faculty and staff that serve these students, and wrap up by looking at some of the positive indicators and success strategies. Let's take a look at the history of community colleges. Founded in the 1920s as junior colleges, they had a focus to relieve four-year colleges and universities from educating young college students right out of high school and helping in the transfer process. Education during this time was still limited, and it was available to the elite. The Truman Commission changed this as it took on a review of higher education systems, noting that the country had a duty to educate the masses, provide free education, and support the adult learner. This would lead to the evolution of what we know today as the American Community College. These open access institutions serve a number of missions in an effort to educate a diverse student body. These missions include transfer services that move students from 2 to 4-year institutions, occupational education, support more for vocational track programs, continuing education and workforce development for students looking to take a few courses and increase their professional marketability. Community colleges are also designed to help as in developmental education to support underprepared students. And finally, they also provide community service as they open their campuses to various organizations and the public as a way to connect the college with their surrounding residents. What is open access? It's an open opportunity of higher education for all of the American population regardless of age, social class, and college preparation. One of the advantages of open access is to have community colleges close to home and at a much lower cost. This allows many students who may not have the opportunity to access higher education to become educated. This is one of the ways that the economy of the United States can move forward as we work towards an educated workforce. Although open access is there are many challenges that threaten community colleges. At the macro level, as previously mentioned, with all of the missions community colleges serve, there are conflicts as society, workforce, and economic development demands continue to shift. The demands for higher education are there from all fronts, but community colleges have to juggle both internal and external challenges to continue to sustain these missions. At the micro level, there's issues with equity and college access, as many students from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, students of color, which in many cases come from poor school districts, are not prepared for the rigors of college, lessening their chances to college access. And when they do attend, they accumulate less credits and do not progress as they should, impacting their goal of graduation and success. Let's take a look at some of the facts behind our community college student population. Community colleges today serve over 13 million students. 40% of students going into college attend community colleges. We know, as previously addressed, that these students are mostly non-traditional, but non-traditional is also the new norm. These students are working parents, low income, first generation, English as a second language, and overall, they have very deep-rooted needs coming into our institutions with more academic support, but also the fact that some cannot attend full-time to be able to get their overall and full college experience. These challenges continue. As we have mentioned that there is a majority of our students who are first generation, this means that they're the first ones in their families to attend college. So if you have a student from a lower socioeconomic background that comes from a poor school district and is first generation, you're dealing with parents that have no knowledge of the college process, students that received very limited support in their school, and they barely understand the process themselves. There is no guidance. Also, while in college, these students show difficulty with time management, trying to juggle so many priorities as they may work and have other obligations that pulls them away from school. These students lack self-efficacy and goal-setting skills. Even more alarming is the fact that they come in with very high anxiety levels, they're insecure about their capabilities, and unsure if they will succeed. So we know the issues and challenges, but do we really know their needs and how to view and approach college? Research shows that more academic, social, and economic support is necessary to help them navigate college. These students do not know the process, what the rules are, and have to face expectations that they do not were even there. A study conducted in 2008 reviewed the expectations of community college traditional students, first generation, and faculty's own expectations. And what they found from first generation students is that college is not a priority, linking to other personal responsibilities they may have. They do not understand something as simple as the syllabus, which faculty takes as a basic college document that everyone should know. These students feel ousted by their professors because they do not understand their personal circumstances and are not willing to work with them. Now let's further look at how the college faculty and administrators view these students and their approach in teaching and interacting with them. From research found, they view these students as less interested in academics and more just to get a quick education and a job. This sets a preconceived and generalized idea based on the previous study shared of student and faculty expectations. They think of these students as having lower commitment, they do not prioritize education or follow their instructions. We can even look at this from a broader perspective on the theories of social and cultural reproduction, which are traditional constructs that are part of the structure of how our community colleges operate and are tied to the expectations of the traditional student from a cultural reproduction standpoint. They expect them to be well versed in books, activities, and other normal things that the upper class may be more accustomed to, although some of these students were never exposed to this. From an aspect of social reproduction, this ties to the idea that these students just want to get a quick practical degree and work, which keeps them working at a lower working class. This brings me to my next slide, the cooling out process and the deficit model of education. Due to these notions on what the students are like, their needs and wants, they're indirectly cooled out through a refocus of their aspirations and actual capabilities according to colleges. It is almost as if they know what is best for the student, although they may not. Ultimately, we are using a deficit model focusing on our students' negative attributes, what they don't know, and how not dedicated they are, diminishing their chances of success. Looking at how faculty and staff may approach these students, we can't ignore the overarching external challenges as we try to work with such diverse populations that have diverse needs. There is open access and the students must be served, but with limited funds, staff capabilities, and flexibility with time is more difficult to support them. From a teaching standpoint, professors are constrained in time and resources to better understand the diverse students. Still, a diverse student population will continue to grow and expand, and we have to be able to overcome these challenges. Now let's look at what the success models are saying and what needs to be done. Even with limited funds, there are little things that can be adjusted and changed. For starters, some professional development that challenges staff assumptions and finds ways to educate themselves and learn more about the needs of these students could help. Simple, non-academic strategies focusing on creating social relationships, helping students feel more comfortable in their environment, learning communities, and also working through student cohorts could help build relationships and ties to their colleges. Also, helping students crystallize their goals and provide them more structure will help them persist. Developing a college know-how, learn those unwritten rules and expectations to ease the student through college and help them transition. This is where the community college can really turn around cultural capital to the student's advantage. Finally, help students through challenges as there will be bumps along the way. From an aspect of educating them, strengths-based practices, focusing on students' positive capabilities and strengths. Also faculty that will have a positive attitude that challenges them but makes them feel that they can get it done is very effective. Community college students ultimately will surprise you. They have amazing resilience, they are committed and will do what they can to succeed with the right balance and support. What community colleges do is very important because they provide these students who the system has labeled as underprepared with an education and an opportunity to grow and succeed. Now to wrap up with a few final thoughts. There is no doubt that our colleges are dealing with many challenges both internally and externally. This is not going to change and it may get worse before it gets better. There's not much we can do with the external changes, but internally we do have these students here and there are small things we can do. There is clearly a disconnect between what their expectations and needs are versus those of the staff and faculty that serve them. Small, gradual changes using both qualitative and quantitative forms of assessment and learning will help our colleges make better decisions within our means and capabilities, making sure that we stick to the true meaning of open access. We have a cultural, social, and economical commitment to the students and our nation. I want to thank you for your time. Next are my references.